In the early years of the Republic, the central government was weak and ineffective. Dozens of military commanders, called warlords, moved into the political vacuum.
In the early days of the Republic, the warlords fought each other. When I was a child in Guangxi province, I saw so many battles. You can't imagine how many battles were fought. Lots of people were so scared, they just went and hid. When warlords got into a fight, people's lives were completely devastated.
The warlords were a diverse group. The warlord of Manchuria was a major figure in national politics. The opium warlord made a fortune growing poppies. The Christian general was said to baptize his troops with a fire hose.
Many warlords were landlords. They were often supported by a certain foreign power. In the early years of the Republic, China was torn apart by foreign powers. For instance, Guangxi and Guangdong provinces were under the influence of England and Yunnan of France.
Since the 19th century, England, France, Germany, the United States, and Japan had traded with China. They based their interests in the major ports around the country. Most foreigners lived in special areas called concessions, which they controlled with their own local governments.
We didn't have the term imperialism. The term came later. We called them foreign devils. They were devils to us. Why did we hate foreigners? We hated any foreigner, any foreign country that wanted to divide up China. It was called divide up then, not invade. They wanted to divide up China just like cutting a melon into pieces. People used to say, now you want to divide up our country, you foreign devils. You're bastards.
In May 1919, for the first time, Chinese took to the streets to protest this dividing up of their country. They saw that the problems of imperialism and warlords had pushed China to the verge of collapse. The demonstration sparked a vocal nationalism and an intense search for political solutions. One of the few political leaders addressing these problems was Sun Yat-sen. Sun was the leader of a coalition group called the Nationalist Party. He was a charismatic man whose speeches attracted many to his cause. Sun knew that the first thing he needed was an army to defeat the warlords and unite the country. He appealed to Western governments for money for his cause.
At the time, none of the imperialist countries wanted to help us. Only the Soviet Union wanted to help us. The Soviet Union had no friends in Asia, so they had to work with us. England and the other countries didn't want us to be united. It appeared the Soviet Union did want to help us. China had to be united, so of course we cooperated with them.
One condition of Soviet help was that the Nationalist Party allow members of the newly formed Chinese Communist Party to join. Sun agreed, and in 1924, the Soviets helped him set up a military academy just outside Canton. The Whampoa Academy quickly became a magnet for patriotic youth from all over China. Some were nationalists, some were communists, some were not affiliated with any party. They trained for a military campaign that would one day unite the country, the Northern Expedition. Sun appointed his protege, Chiang Kai-shek, commander of the academy. Chiang was a professional soldier. Like many of his generation, he had attended military school in Japan. He had worked with Sun for over a decade. Chiang's son remembers what his father and Sun Yat-sen talked about.
Although I wasn't usually included in their day-to-day conversations, there were times when they were walking, having tea, when I heard them talking about national affairs. And when they talked about national affairs, they were very serious, very enthusiastic. They wanted to build up China. Because in the East, we had lived under autocracy for too long.
Chiang was the commander of all the cadets and of the academy's staff. Many of China's future leaders were under his command. One of them was a young Communist Party member, Zhou Enlai. Zhou was the director of the political education department. Under his direction, the cadets watched and performed plays with simple political messages.
Without revolution, there was no hope for this country, so political education was given on the front. Songs played quite a big role. The song goes like this.
As his army trained, Sun and his wife Sung Ching-ling sailed to Beijing to negotiate with the city's warlord. But Sun was ill with cancer. He died soon after arriving in Beijing on March 12, 1925. In death, Sun was revered as the father of the Chinese Republic. There was no one of his stature to take over the leadership, and a struggle for power in the party began.